Sulima is a Polish coat of arms. It was used by several szlachta families in the times of the Kingdom of Poland and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. It was used by Zawisza Czarny, famous Polish knight, undefeated in numerous tournaments, a symbol of knight virtues. Coat of arms entitled Sulkowski and Radomski families who came to the great importance as princes. Coat of arms of the shield across two parts divided on the surface area of half eagle black with yellow field with wings stretched, with the muzzle to the right blade rotates in the bottom and 3 stones in the red field on the helmet of eagle crown half black, such as the shield. Slightly more complicated is a contemporary description of a medieval coat of arms Sulima, by Joseph Zamanski, built in accordance with all the rules of the so-called. It presented the original medieval version of the coat of arms. Version shaped in the 16th century was in the upper field of gold. Here's a description of contemporary, designed with the principles blazoned away near proposed by Alfred Znamierowski. Blazon on the emblem Sulima made up of the 2 characteristic elements, the upper field, half-black eagle, and heraldic figures called stones or diamonds located in the bottom field. History. The first preserved in the sources presents Sulima were on prints of 3 wax stamps documents from 1352 year and about 1360. Their owners were clergyman Kraków, the curator of the Collegiate Church of St. Michael's Castle, Francis. It is worth mentioning that both the earlier seal, coat of arms, was a single pole, deprived labrau and jewel. They are also known for the color of the coat of arms Sulima from this period. Among several images of seal of the 14th century, mention must seal Stanislaus Gamrat from Klemontowa applied under the Act of Union in Horodlo in 1413. Sulimczyk that took his coat Lithuanian family named Radziwiłł or Radziwiłł. It is not, however, about the progenitor of the famous later the Lithuanian aristocratic family coat of arms trunks. At about the same time Sulim proudly presented Zawisza Czarny, fighting with the Turks and performing various missions at the side of the King Sigismund. Perhaps in reference to the emblem of the rulers of Germany, he gave half eagle in his coat of arms black color. For the figure Zawisza involves also the first color shot Sulima in this color. It went about 1415 years to the Book of Braga Street, Christopher on the Arlberg in Tyrol. In addition to this color eagle, its weapon was a silver, as well as the top field. The eagle was also a silver headband. Box bottom was red, golden stones in a 2-and-1. It can be assumed that the Western illustrator inspired by the eagles Silesian, German and Polish. It is not known whether labray and jewel were additive derived from the same or from Zawisza illustrator. In the 15th century appearance Sulima immortalized 3 Western rolls of arms. The most famous of these is the Burgundian armorial of the Golden Fleece by Jan de Saint-Remy of about 1435 years. Armorial repeats the color scheme of the famous Book of Braga, but the upper field is stylized so that it more closely resembles head. Armorial does not cite Jew. Another Western armorial's Codex Bergsheimer, an armorial Lycenic of the 20s-30s of the 15th century, publish a similar image, also stylizing the top box on the head. At the same time in the country, images of Sulima had at the time already a clear division into 2 fields. An example here of the seals of the Władysław Oporo, Bishop of Wrocław in the years 1435 to 1441. Images are stylized preserved also at the castle in the Oporowy. An interesting variant of the look comes from the decoration of the reliquary of Saint Barbara from the years 1484 to 1493. shield, alongside the established division, already has an additional element in the form of decorative fringes. The emblem is red, and the field gold. Subsequent elements of the full coat of arms next to labrau and jewel appeared on the bell of the Demoson, and dating back to 1,500 years, the foundation of a family member Oporowski. It is worth noting that this is the first presentation of Sulima labrami and the jewel in Poland. Additionally, the helmet was a crown. The first performance Sulima with a top field gold comes from the portrait of Peter Gamrat from the years 1541 to 1545. Here, however, the top field more like a head. Division 2 pole and gold upper field shows while so cool. Herbal Arsenalski from about 1535 to 1555. In addition, the stones are all silver, although silver tincture upper field appears even in the 16th century, but it can be assumed that the tincture of gold then became dominant. Much of the merits of a new compendium of heraldic from 1584 Herby Polish Knights Bartus Paproki. It shows the image of the coat of arms full, but does not identify the color of stones. In addition, due to an error engraver, eagle jewel and emblem is facing to the left, which was amplified in later times. Moreover, this herb meet on several Gothic tombstones, among others in Gniezno and Circle. As an architectural detail, several churches and a castle in Oporonia Kutno, as well as a symbol of the founders of the various ecclesiastical jewels. Precious chalice books. Decline 14th century brought in the first written mention of the coat of arms Sulima. In 1397, the name of the family and the coat of arms appeared in court records Province Lechicki. For the same year it comes the first mention of a kindred Sulima in court records Conan. Since then repeatedly scrolled in various writings heraldic, sometimes with a terse description of the coat of arms in Latin or Polish, for example, Polhola and Tzk mean eagle with 3 stones, or 3 stones s pools eagle v black box. Particularly noteworthy so far unexplained mention of the black box. Perhaps it is a closer vague variation. Description. Sulima was also the first Polish armorial gem attributed to Jan Długosz with 60s 15th century. Interestingly, Długosz describes the coat of arms without the distribution of the field. It is possible that simply omitted this detailed description, or based on older depictions. The earliest mention of proclamy, which is identical with the name of the coat of arms, comes from 1424. According to Maria Kowalska-Bobowski, name coat of arms comes from the personal name Sulima, Sulim. For reliable can be regarded as hypothesis. Vladislav Semkovich derived the name of Sulima from the village of Nesulimov in Wielkopolska Sulina, under Klek in the district of Gniezno, parish Debnica. Another village with a similar name, Sulimov, was in the district of Sieradz, parish Goshanow. It is known from written sources until 1391. And far away, geographically, from Lechicka goods of different families of the arms known from a later period, not too far away, but from here to Sieradz Ostrovska near Uniojo, the village associated with Sulimami already in 13th in. Unlikely it seems to be another hypothesis derived from the name of the family Sulimov, kind of medieval polearms. Sulici, black eagle as a symbol of strength, was the emblem of the Roman emperors and German. According to legend, given by Leopold von Lederber, progenitor Sulimitau was added to the coat of arms of 3 precious stones to show the community of blood with his 2 brothers, from whom he had to distinguish by name and emblem. Jan Długosz hypothesized, repeated later by other heralds, allegedly Sulimci were knights migrant from Germany, would testify about the Black Eagle, allegedly referring to the heraldry of kings and emperors of the Reich. Niesiecki even gives an example of Prussian family slump that in one of the fields Czterodzielnego coat of arms was half Black Eagle, and writes about them as relatives Sulimchikov. This hypothesis, however, is today called into question by some historians. It is not a ipso criterion amino, which clearly shows that the names of the earliest mentioned Sulimitao were purely Polish. This article has been prepared on the basis of reliable sources, especially classical and contemporary armorials. However, you should pay attention to the frequent occurrence of assigning the wrong families of noble coats of arms, especially intensified during legitimacy nobility against offensive heraldry, which was then fixed in turn issued armorials. The identity of the names does not mean belonging to the family coat of arms. Membership in the can clearly determine only study genealogy. The list of names contained in the article comes from Herbarium Polish Tadeusz Gajl. This is so far the most comprehensive list of herbages constantly replenished by the author of the new editions of Herbarium. Occurrence on the list of names does not necessarily mean that a particular family sealed the coat of arms Sulima. Often, the same names are the property of many families representing all the states of the former republic, i.e., the peasants, burghers, nobility. Some of the common names there are for families have assumed to code the road adoption. The first documented and adopted was a councillor Jan Bajtel of Torun. In 1522 Sulimita became Stanislaw Witrita, while 4 years later, Fedor Dawilowicz of Witzieck's children and brothers, Saul Emanuel and Jerzy Zylajewicz. They were adopted by Peter and John Slazewski Gamrat. With the adoption came a coat of Felix of Trinksy 1540, but it made the gem varieties. New Sulimitao admitted to the family until the end of the First Republic. Anthony, Christopher and Valentine de united and given Sulima 1768, George Trublashevich a year later, and Melchior, Gaspar and John Sajovskich in 1776. Sulima was used by several families of foreign origin, including Tatar and Armenian. Stanislaw Julevich lists Tatar origin family Niziovska Ulanovich. He mentioned, too, that in 1819 Ignatius Ulanovich Sulima filed an application to the Senate of the Polish Kingdom to grant him the title of Earl because of that his father in various transactions. The official took the title and that was registered even in Metrica's count. The Commission of the Senate in 1824 evidence recognized and awarded it. Zablocky name as the name of a family of Tatar origin lists service Polish Tatars. Armenian origin by Louis Corvinus was supposed to be a family Jaskovichow. With this family were to be, among others, Jan, court physician of King Stanislaw August Poniatowski, Jagiellonian University professor Joseph, the judge writes of Armenian in Lviv 1765, King's secretary, Gabriel and Francis Xavier, secretaries of the king. It is worth mentioning published in 1855 a book of Russian heraldry Alexander Borisovich Varnish, Heraldry Russian. The author cites the names there of the Russian nobility, which took over some of the Polish coat of arms. Among them is Sulima. The pain does not explain how such a takeover occurred. What is certain is that few Polish families settled in Russia. Native Russian families could receive the Polish coats of arms on the principle of assimilation images of their own. Coat of arms Sulima had the varnish to seal the family. Bantis Kamiński, Guru and Sabluko. Herb Sulima, as one of the 271 Polish nobility coats of arms, has been absorbed by the Russian heraldry. Origin and occurrence. The earliest mention of evolution and the image of the coat of arms. Notable bearers of this coat of arms include Zawisza Czarny, Władysław Oborowski, Igor Stravinsky, Piotr Gamrat, Popil family, Sulkowski family, Radomski family, Felix Dzerzhinsky, gallery.